Yes, Ansh.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Andan.
Welcome, man. Uh, okay, Bruno. By the way, Ansh, Bruno is your dog name, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Aware about that. Cool. Ansh, firstly, I'm so glad that I got an opportunity to host you, open for you. By the way, my name is Chandan Perla. I head the community team here at Bluelearn. We look at everything. We try to look at, let's say, community engagement and all of that. Other than that, guess what? I started my own podcast 1.5 year ago, looking up to you. Yeah, I'm not just kidding. That's for real. So today it's heard across 36 countries with more than 100,000 audience across multiple podcasts. So we built a network. So yep, I'm so glad that I'm getting to open for you.
That is amazing, dude. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ansh. So, okay, ladies and gentlemen, so here comes the formal introduction. Before that, Yash, we're recording this, right? Can I see? Okay, can you give me a heads up once we start recording? Yash, just one second.
Hey Chandan, are you still waiting?
Sorry?
Are you still waiting?
No. We were just like waiting for like 1 more minute, waiting for Yash to start the recording.
Okay. Amazing.
All right. Okay. Okay, so let's begin the session. Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, this is the formal introduction. We have Ansh Mehra with us today, the man who every single designer, I mean, a lot of people have started their design careers by looking at his course on YouTube. It's just too golden in terms of the quality, in terms of the value that he provided to a lot of people, and that's the reason why we all are here today on this session to talk and discuss. I mean, to learn more about Ansh Mehra. So, ladies and gentlemen, presenting you Ansh Mehra. Ansh, welcome to Bluelearn.
Thank you so much, Andan. You've been extremely supportive. I'm using a new mic, so I hope that my voice is clear, right?
Yeah, absolutely clear.
Awesome. Let me just start screen sharing. I don't want to waste time introducing myself because I really want to make the most of these 35 minutes. So, as you all know, we are breaking into the space of UI and UX. But the truth is that this terminology of UI/UX is sort of incorrect. So we'll understand what is UX design, we'll understand what is UI design, what are the softwares and requirements to learn this subject, what is Figma, and how does it even work, and how can you learn UX or UI on your own for free without any courses or degrees. In the end, if we have time, we can also talk about the salaries, the stipends, as to what do UX or UI designers get paid in India, not even on the foreign side of things, but even in India. So a common assumption for anyone who uses an app is that a couple of people would get an idea and they would just start coding it and release it to the public, which is wrong. Before developers sit to make an app, there's a huge stage, which is the design stage. A couple of UX researchers and UX designers come together, sit with product managers, and prioritize what features the app should have. Because when you get an idea, there are millions and millions of things that you can execute, but you have limited time and limited resources. So it's very important to make sure that you design your app in a way where you know that it would solve the user's problem, you know that it would work. Because if you directly develop an app, if you directly code an app, first of all, it takes too much time to fix errors on the development side of things, and you waste a lot of money if the app fails. So when you design an app, you don't do any coding, you don't do any development, you don't buy any backend infrastructure. You basically test your designs first. You test whether your idea is working or not. And then if things are working right, if people are responding well, it eventually goes to the coding team and the developers sit down and, they make the entire thing. Now the question is, how did I begin? I was a filmmaker in school, and because I got really good marks, my parents nudged me into pursuing engineering. So I switched to filmmaking to engineering. But even now, if you go on YouTube, you would find my first film that I made. It's called Carbonated. The screenshots are on the right. And in engineering, I realized that even though I can understand programming, I wasn't too passionate about it, because at my core, I was a very creative person, a very visual person. I couldn't sit in one place to, focusedly code. So I eventually figured out UX design, which is like an intersection between technology and creativity and research. Eventually, I started participating in multiple hackathons, not only in India, but I had an opportunity to compete at Hack MIT, Hack Harvard. The idea that I made at Hack Harvard was eventually selected at the Microsoft Imagine Cup. All of this travel, all of these things made me realize that UX design as a career is a very, very powerful subject. And ever since I started learning UX, I realized that designers are not only paid equal, in fact, in a lot of cases, they are being paid more than other professions simply because the demand is too high and the supply is too low. And as a creative individual, I love this entire subject because when you are in technology, and as Peter Thiel puts it, the world of pixels moves faster than the world of atoms. If you're in technology, you will never worry about being in a growing industry or being out of a job. Right? If you're good at what you're doing and if you're in tech, it is very easy to scale. So things worked out. Sapta, who's currently the director of design at Swiggy, gave me my first internship at Swiggy, and I interned with them twice. I hope that I'm still connected, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So he gave me my first internship. I interned with Swiggy twice. Eventually, I started creating content on the internet. Got, there's someone.
Just one sec, checking on that. Okay, where's the sound coming from?
Hey, mod, please mute Ketan actually.
I think it's
Sir, can you
Got it,
please
sir.
repeat that?
Ketan. Yeah, I've been hearing Ketan a lot. Anyway, so I got in touch with some interesting people, including Ranveer Alabadia, Ankur Variku, Sandeep Maheshwari, met all these people in person, got really inspired, and I've now started putting content on YouTube as well. The thing is that at the end of all this, I left Swiggy as an intern and I got an email from Bharat and Veda, who were the co-founders of Zuddle, saying that they have an idea to host virtual events. This is back in 2020 when the pandemic had just started, like it had just entered the picture. And I was responsible to design the entire MVP from scratch, and things went well. And this year we just closed our Series A of 13.5 million from AWI and Qualcomm Ventures, and we're just expanding the same. So yeah, that was the basic introduction just to establish some credibility as to I have been through that route of anxiety and confusion where you don't know where to learn things from. You don't know if you will get a job without a degree, but trust me, things do work out if you learn from the right resources. So coming back to the meat of tonight's topic, what is UX and UI? The screenshot that you see in front of you is from my website, anshmehra.com. And if you look closely, whatever that you see in front of you, these boxes, this picture, this text, all of this comprises my UI, which stands for user interface. But if you look closely, there's a div, and in CSS we call boxes as divs. There's a div that says switch lights on, and next to that you can see a toggle. If you click on this toggle, my entire website would switch from dark theme to light theme, which is pretty cool because some people are just used to the light theme or dark theme. But things become more interesting because this website actually tracks where you are on the world. It calculates your time zone and then decides if you see the light theme or the dark theme. So if you open my website after 6 p.m., it opens in dark theme. If you open it before 6 p.m., like in the daytime, it would automatically switch to the light theme. All of this logic and calculation and optimization that is happening in the backend is to fine tune the user experience. It is to fine tune how you interact with my app. It is not visually apparent, it is not very obvious, but it is happening in the background. This is where UX comes in. UX is like this big subject. UX stands for user experience. It's a huge subject, and UI is a part of it. There are many other subjects like interaction design, copywriting, research, wireframing, a lot of things. But yes, UI is a part of it. Now, the question is, what software or what do you need to learn to understand and make apps? See, when it comes to designing UI, designing landing pages, designing websites, a lot of people are switching to Figma, which is a free tool. It is absolutely free. and it runs on any laptop that you want, and you can download it from figma.com. But there are a few common doubts that I want to address before we start. The first question is, do I need a Mac or a very expensive laptop to do UX designing? Absolutely not. Figma as a software runs on the cloud. So it's absolutely independent of how your laptop is. Of course, if you do very complicated things, then you might need a better laptop. But whatever laptop that you have right now, whether it's an old Windows laptop, an old Mac, Figma would work for you very easily. How much time does it take? I feel like there are 3 or 4 topics, and we will cover those 3 or 4 topics in the end if we get time. If you finish those 3 or 4 topics in Figma, you would very easily know how to design your first case study. So in this industry, you get your first internships by showing your case studies. You take fictional problem statements, you design your app, you put it all together on a Medium document, and then you give those Medium articles to your recruiter. So your recruiter can see how good you are at research and prototyping and all these different things. So on paper, I think on average, you need to invest at least 50 to 60 hours on those 5 to 6 topics, become good enough to at least get started. Why do I say 60 hours? Because you can do 6 hours for 10 days and finish those 60 hours. You can probably do 2 hours every day and finish it in 30 days, right? But you need 60 hours to at least get started. If you quit before 60 hours, you never gave this subject enough chance. The third question is, do I need to learn coding, sketching, graphic designing, all these other things? Absolutely not. This is a completely independent subject, and it is independent of everything that we've ever done, right? So even if you have a computer science degree, of course, you would have some advantage, but it's not like you will get a lot of money as salaries. And if a person does not have a computer science degree or doesn't know coding, that person will get paid less. It is not about that. Do I need a design degree? I feel that if you can afford a design degree, absolutely go for it. It will never hamper your life. It will never have any disadvantages, right? Because people who say that a degree is useless is usually the people who have a degree. You should always ask someone who doesn't have a degree. That person will tell you the reality as to how hard life gets when you don't have that piece of paper to send to your recruiter. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if you have any other degree, right? You might be pursuing a BCA or a BTech or any other degree, and you can learn UX at the side and eventually apply for UX jobs. But if you're in school right now, I would still recommend you to go and get a good degree. I am not necessarily a design degree, but any degree, right? But when it comes to the discussion of, do I need a design degree for a job? No. I know a lot of self-taught designers who are in very senior companies, like very, very senior companies, earning a good amount of money simply because they are very good at their job. They've learned everything from YouTube. You can also learn it from YouTube. It is not as difficult as it may seem. Of course, when you go on the internet, the easiest solution is to pay money, right? Pay money for a course, pay money for a certification. But I would recommend you to first learn from all the free content available and document everything that you learn on Notion. I'm not sure how many of you have used Notion. And let me just check the chat in case everything is working. All right. So first learn from all the free content available, and you will go on Google and figure out what Notion is and document everything that you learn, right? Because there's this concept of retroactive interference. It basically means that as you learn new things, you forget old things, right? Our brain is great at getting ideas, but it is terrible at remembering ideas, at remembering information. So you make sure that you document everything. And once all your free resources are exhausted, start working on internships or projects like freelance projects and start getting paid. Once you have your own earned capital, then you start buying courses, right? Because it's exactly what happens at the airport, right? You go to the airport and you see a bookstore with a lot of books and you just buy the book just because you want to feel smart. When we pay money for a book or a course, we feel that we are better than others because we've taken the first step. But that first step is meaningless. So don't use money, use your focus, use your willpower to learn things for free. If you are making your own money, then you can spend whatever you want to on all these different resources. So the question is, where do we begin? I have collected all the important resources that you would ever need on a Notion document itself. And let me share that page with you. And this one Notion document basically would have everything that you will ever need. And you can also see how Notion works. So when I open this page, you will see some testimonials from students who have learned from my course. You will get a link to download Figma, and you will get the most important Figma playlist that you need to get started. There are around 6, 7 videos. You have to make sure that you finish each and every video. Once you've seen this playlist, you are all set. Then you can either learn in English or in Hindi. I'm not sure how many people are comfortable here in Hindi, so that's why I have an English variant as well. But trust me when I say this, if you finish these 15 videos, you will not only become good, you will become fabulous if you genuinely finish everything that I've mentioned in these 15 videos. There would be a lot of people here who have already done the course. In the end, there's a 15-day booster plan, which is basically a plan for 15 days to really upskill yourself as a UX designer. So for every day, there's one resource that I want you to check out. And some of these resources are amazing, especially growth.design, or like the iOS guidelines for apps, UX copywriting, Figma tips and tricks. So a lot of interesting stuff is there on this website, and trust me, you will learn a lot from this one single page. So I'm just like giving a quick overview of what I've taught on my YouTube channel as well. Like, we take it from the very absolute basics to the very end. So yes, I think it's time for questions. These are just my social handles in case you guys have any doubts, because I want to spend more time on questions because there are a lot of people here and I want to make sure that I cater to all your questions. Hello?
Can I go first?
Can you folks hear me?
Hello? Am I audible?
Yes. Ansh, you're audible. And also,
Hello.
I think the other
That
person who's
sounds
asking
fine.
questions, yes, you are audible too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, hey, Ansh.
So if you folks have any questions around, so we can obviously start with the salaries and the stipends, but like still wanted to open-ended thing that if you have any specific questions, I can answer that as well.
Hey, Ansh, am I audible to you?
Oh yeah, I've stopped the screen sharing in case you're wondering.
Yeah, you were audible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I am a graphic designer and I work on posters and
Do
all.
Google
Like,
certifications or Coursera worth it? I think it's a free course. But if you're paying for it, like as I said, if you are putting a good dent in your pocket, then don't do it. Because see, when you pay for a course, it's basically you saving a lot of time, right? So when you pay money, you're saving time. So if you feel that you want to save time browsing through the internet, you pay for the course. Otherwise, if you're a young student, I think most of you would have time, right? So it's pretty easy to do these things as a young beginner. The playlist link and everything is on the Notion page. Like on this website, you would have everything that you need. The playlist link is also here. And talking about stipends and salaries, I think when it comes to the internship stipend, most students that I see getting an internship have around 1 year of experience. And if you want to take inspiration from big internships, there's this website called cofolios.com where you can go and check out how, top tech companies shortlist their students like Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, LinkedIn, all these big companies. And you can check out their portfolios and see what they have done and then try to reverse engineer, right? So the stipend usually in big companies ranges around 30 to 35K. In a lot of companies, they give 40K as stipend. And these companies, when they say that we're giving you stipend, they're not giving you stipend, they're actually testing you, right? So they don't take interns just for fun. If they're spending time on training you, you're most probably going to convert full time. If you're a terrible person or if you have some major issues, then they would like chuck you out. But in tech startups, the stipend is usually like the new startups that are coming up, the stipend is usually around 18 to 25K. Like that is the average, 18 to 25K is the stipend. When it comes to salaries, I think a person who has an experience of 2 to 2.5 years and has some good case studies, that person gets around an 8 to 10 lakh rupees per annum. And in good companies, like the good tech companies where people are pretty experienced, I have seen people very easily get 12 to 14 lakh rupees per annum as well. But these are just figures, right? Like let me tell you, like it is much more complicated than that. It is very subjective, depends on the company, depends on that company's financials, depends on your city as well. The salaries between Delhi and Gurgaon and Bombay and Bangalore, they differ drastically, right? So things change from city to city, situation to situation. So you have to be very real with yourself. And I've mentioned all of these things on my YouTube channel. There's a video on my YouTube channel which tells in detail as to how these salaries work, how Figma works, do you need a design degree, all these small things. So yeah, my YouTuber is mostly gonna answer all the questions. Do big tech giants hire freshers? No, they would only hire you if you have at least 2 to 2.5 years of experience. But the thing is, if you are young, I would still recommend you to check out tech startups, like new tech startups. And the easiest way is to go to VC websites like Y Combinator and Tiger and check out who have they funded recently, right? So see who they have funded recently and check out what their co-founder is up to and directly message the co-founders, because these companies that are funded usually have good amount of capital in their bank, and because they are funded by these big companies, you can trust their ideas, right? So they are looking for designers like you, they're looking for good people, and they pay well as well, simply because they are trying to attract.
नहीं है उसको काम है खाने तो उससे ज्यादा जो सुनो सुन स्कूल जा बोला जब बता के लेके जब हम चल जाते हैं फोन सब नंबर
भाई को आप काय को यार अब
Yeah, and you can rejoin if you want to. Try rejoining if it helps.
Folks, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's completely fine. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So yes. Any other questions? I think I'm getting like the same questions again. Is it like a bug, or the questions are actually repeating?
Ansh, I have a question about the last thing you have said.
Yeah.
Where can I get the information about the startups? You said a website, and I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So let's just like discuss all the popular VCs, right? So you can check out Y Combinator. Y Combinator does like good fundings to capital. And there is Sequoia. It is very surprising how these people are hanging out at different places and unmuting themselves. Yeah, there is Sequoia here. Oh, Chinmay Singh, they're repeating questions until you answer. That is very ironical because I only answered these two questions and they have still asked them again. They are pretty funny. Not sure if, I think they are bots or.
is he audible to anyone else?
Oh, I'm still not audible. This is such a.
No, Ansh, we can hear you.
You are audible. You are audible.
Okay.
Audible.
Thank you, Sumant. I'm a graphic designer. I work mostly on posters and images. I did work on UX. It was very interesting, but I'm confused what to pursue, graphic design or UX design. it depends on what you're more passionate about. If you don't like UX and if you're forcing yourself to do UX, it will not work out. So yeah, just do what you think is cooler and just pursue that. Do you think that AI will replace UI UX jobs in the near future? Yeah, but not like tomorrow. It's not like it's going to replace your job tomorrow. And this is just like, I feel like it's a very far fetched thing. They might replace UI designers, but they will not replace UX folks. I mean, AI can easily design UI, but it's still sort of, it's very far. Don't worry. You should be worried about kids who are working harder than you. Don't worry about AI. Work about, you should worry about kids who are working harder. Those will replace others first. Is UX is a good addition to my resume if I'm pursuing CS? No, not at all. You just need to know Java, Python, basics of data structures, DBMS, operating system. These are the things that you want to learn. Not needed for.
Hello, Ansh. I have a last question. Can I ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was your early stage? Like, how was you exposed to like UI and UX? How did you know all about that on your early stage? Because our starting stage is like confusion, right? We don't know what to do. How did you manage that?
I have tried a lot of things. So in my first year of college, I did nothing. In second year of college, I tried ML and AI. I tried Android development, iOS development, HTML, CSS, all these things. Nothing worked out for me. And one day, by mistake, I just entered a hackathon and I saw that every programmer is just directly designing on Swift or on Android Studio, which I felt was terrible. It was not very, optimized. I'm talking about 2017. In 2017, UX was actually not very popular, at least not even on YouTube, right? Like you didn't see too many UX folks on YouTube in 2017. So yeah, at that point, I thought, let's just learn this, and I just kept learning, enjoyed it, and yeah, we are here today.
Okay, thank you so much.
What clarity should we have while starting a YouTube channel on UX? Like you should not start it now. I think you should first figure out how to learn UX and get a job. And once you have free time, then you can start. Which degree have you done in your college life? A BTech in computer science.
Ansh, hello.
Yeah.
Can you explain anything about? Can you give an example of a problem on UX, whatever it is?
Oh yeah, sure. Let me actually show you a real life app, and let me show you what we would do as UX designers. That's a good idea. Let me show you. So I have this Figma file where how much do you earn right now? I am telling you, like, I can't tell the exact figure, but it's pretty comfortable. Yeah, it is more than I would have guessed. And it's not just like from my salary, but I get some income from Instagram, from other things as well. But I'm telling you, like, as a starter, if you're good, if you have 2 years of experience, as a starter, you will earn around 1 lakh rupees per month very easily. But yeah, you have to put in the work. A lot of people don't want to put in the work. They just want to earn, which is not possible because people will not pay for, basic skills. So let me give you a quick example. So this is like a fictional project, right? Like what if there's an app where I have my own videos, right? Like I can teach design on my own. I hope it's working. Okay, yeah. So the first screen that you see is the onboarding screen, right? Like this is the onboarding screen, which is the first thing that a person would see before they create an account. So this is how we start, right? This is the first screen. But I can actually optimize the bottom buttons by removing the solid on the next button. So now more of my attention goes to I am interested. But another thing is that when a person comes on this screen, a lot of attention is being taken by this image right here because I am still not a UX designer. I don't really care about this image. So the better decision is to do something like this, right? Where you have a subtle logo so that more attention goes here. But even this is meaningless. So a better design would be to introduce something like this image where a person is working on the laptop so that you can relate to that person. But instead of saying, I am interested, what if I give them an incentive? Now the button says try for free. Now you don't have anything to lose. You're like, oh, maybe if I try this for free, I might learn something on my own. But a hybrid would be that you put I am interested here and a sticker here that says first month is free, because this is more apparent than this. Now, next level comes here when we actually explain the rationale behind this decision making, right? So there's this test called a blurry test. So basically, when someone looks at your app, they are looking at it from a very distracted lens, right? They're thinking about other stuff and their phone is on low brightness. So this is what they actually see. So when they open my app, if I were designing this thing right here, they would usually see this button first. But on the right hand side, because this image is pretty stark, they would first see this and then see this. So this is a quick way to, check your designs. But what if I want to brand myself? What if I am popular and I want to show my branding? So I can simply replace it with a cover image, right? And not just one image, maybe put a carousel and maybe sell my features. So these 3 dots are basically, carousel dots. So maybe in the first image, I show myself. In the second image, I show some modules and all these different things. So we started from here and we ended up here, right? And there were a lot of design decisions that we took to get here. And most probably this screen would get more conversions and more business. So yeah, that is like a very, very easy, quick example of how it would have been. But yeah.
Can I ask something related to that, whatever you have explained?
Yeah.
So there are different decisions which you have taken care during the whole process. So how you exactly take the decisions?
That comes with experience, to be honest. Like, you learn things on the go, you learn about different laws that, you can always start with the basic laws of UX design. So there's this link here, I'm pasting it in the chat. It's called lawsofux.com, which basically shows you, very, very basic fundamentals of UX. Right, so you can take a look at those as well. I have actually uploaded a few videos on my YouTube channel where I take a really bad UI and then I redesign it. So I uploaded one last Tuesday. There's one coming tomorrow as well. So it would show you me taking a bad looking UI and let me share that link here. I redesign apps. So if you are a UX designer, you can always email me your designs on anshmehra.com@gmail.com, anshmehra.com@gmail.com, and I can redesign your UI as well. How are you navigating the link so fast? I am pretty good at typing. Yeah, I'm pretty fast at typing, and I use a lot of shortcuts.
Thank you. I got my answer.
And
hey, Ansh,
yeah.
I have a question. But before asking that question, I really want to appreciate your content on YouTube. I'm consuming it from some months now, and it really helped me a lot. Right now, I'm on a stage where I'm exploring things. Right now, my main skill is interior design, but I'm also exploring, brand strategy and UX design too. So my question is kind of simple, but it's not. Maybe it's related more towards your life. So does we designer ever reach a point in our life where things start going towards the direction we really wanted it to?
No, but are you saying you are confused about your career choice?
No, not career choice. Like in a project, for example, let's say I have a project and I took some decisions. So the result from those decisions, right now I'm not getting those results that I was expecting from those decisions. So I'm just asking that, does we ever reach the point where not 100%, but maybe somewhere around 30% or 50%, we get results that we expected from those decisions?
Yeah, 100%. How long have you been learning UX?
It's I guess now 6 months.
Yeah. You should spend at least 1 more year. Things become more clear after 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, you need at least 2 years. Like, we give almost every degree 3 years and 4 years when we are spending day and night on that degree, right? Like, even colleges promise you a job before 3 years.
Yep.
So we should give ourselves at least 2 years if we are learning on our own.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ansh. And really, I really appreciate your content. It really helped me a lot. It saves a lot of time because trust me, when you're searching, on internet for resource, you have to connect the dots. But because of your content, it kind of saved that time I would have spent connecting dots. So thanks a lot, Ansh.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? So one person is saying, how do I start my first case study? I would recommend you to go on Medium and read other people's case study and take inspiration from them, because you just get a lot of inspiration, right? Like there's no recipe for it, right? There's absolutely no fit formula, but you will find a lot of case studies on Medium. In fact, there's one very cool resource, which is the UX case study factory. Let me share that here. You can always read this essay. This essay will give you a lot of clarity. There's this channel called whiteboard.fm, and they've had 4 seasons. And on their website, let me just share you their case studies thing. This website right here is going to show you how really big companies look at case studies, right? Like GitHub, Urban Clap, Microsoft, NID, all these big people, like all these students, they actually show you how they catered their case study, and you will see it through videos. So these videos are going to help you a lot to, sort of get more clarity. The whiteboard.fm case studies thing, it's amazing. What about cohort-based courses like 10K designers? It's being run by a friend, right? Like Abhinav is a mentor and a friend. So a lot of people have been getting a lot of help. But the thing is, if you can't afford it, I'm just telling this to people who can't afford cohorts, that don't lose hope. You can very easily learn things on your own. When you pay for a cohort, you just save a lot of time, right? Like if you have 100 hours, you spend 100 hours. If you don't have 100 hours, you spend money that you earlier earned spending 100 hours, right? So that money that you're paying, how did you get that money? If you didn't spend it, at least your parents spent 100 hours earning that money. Somebody has spent hours earning that money. You're just saving it now. I'm doing the Shift Nudge UI course. Is it good? Have you checked it out? No, I have heard about it and I've heard good things about it. So not really sure how it would be. So how did you create your own website? I made it using Webflow. I designed it. I actually bought a template from Webflow and I designed it on Figma, and I got a Webflow developer. I outsourced the development for Webflow. I outsource all these things. How to find internship in the field of UI and UX design? As I said, start learning, put at least 2-3 case studies out. And I'm going to share you another link by Whiteboard only. They of different companies, how do they hire, right? So when you go on this company, you will see the hiring process for Hotstar, Swiggy, Microsoft, Zomato, Instagram, GitHub, like all big companies. You will see their hiring processes as to what do they look for. And I also shared portfolios, so you will also see how these big people got internships in big companies. Any other questions?
Hey Ansh, पहले तो मतलब बहुत ऐसे थैंक यू फॉर योर कंटेंट, मतलब क्या सुन मतलब कैन यू हियर मी?
यस मुझे सुनाई दे रहा है.
हाँ, मतलब पहले तो मतलब ये था कि यू हैव गिवन मी सो मच कॉन्फिडेंस. मतलब मैंने कभी ये नहीं देखा हिंदी में इतना ज्यादा अच्छा कंटेंट. और मैं भी मतलब हाँ, मतलब मैं दिल्ली से हूँ और आई एम लाइक गुड इन इंग्लिश, बट मुझे अगर यूट्यूब पे कोई वीडियो वगैरह का बनाना था तो इंग्लिश में हर चीज स्क्रिप्ट करनी पड़ती थी. तो जब से मैंने आपका कंटेंट देखा है तो वो उससे बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस आया कि मैं अपनी लैंग्वेज में भी वो बना सकता हूँ. जैसे आई वांट टू मेक ऐसे बॉक्स स्टाइल वीडियो 99% इनविजिबल वीडियोस, बट ऑन ऐसे इंडियन टॉपिक्स, इंडियन डिजाइन, इंडियन. तो आई यूज्ड टू थिंक ऐसे एक स्टीरियोटाइप होता है हिंदी कंटेंट में कि ऐसा ही होगा, लेकिन जब से आपका कंटेंट देखा मतलब वो एक स्टीरियोटाइप से बाहर है. वो एस्थेटिकल ऐसे बहुत ज्यादा ऐसे अच्छा है. मतलब ये मैंने देखा तो उससे मुझे बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस मिला. और दूसरी बात ऐसे डिजाइन से हटके जो लाइफ पे एडवाइजेस होती हैं, छोटी छोटी रील्स होती हैं आपकी, वो बहुत ज्यादा इंस्पायरिंग है मेरे लिए. थैंक यू फॉर दैट.
थैंक यू सो मच। एक्चुअली मेरा पर्पस हिंदी में यही था कि यूट्यूब पे जितने, आई होप देयर इज देयर एनीवन हु डजंट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी, बिकॉज आई नो नॉट एवरीवन नोज हिंदी, so you can type it in the chat अगर किसी को हिंदी नहीं आती। The thing is that if you go on YouTube and look for YouTube पे videos, तो हिंदी में बहुत कम कंटेंट है, and अगर होता भी as he said there's this stereotype attached to it, तो मुझे इंडियन ऑडियंसेस के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हाई क्वालिटी कंटेंट बनाना था, that when someone comes on that हिंदी video they should feel like this looks like it's been produced in Hollywood.
एग्जैक्टली जो थंबनेल की क्वालिटी है वो भी इतनी ज्यादा अच्छी है कि मतलब हाँ पता लग जाता है कि क्या हो रहा है, होने वाला है।
Yeah, thank
हाँ तो
you.
मैं, हाँ जी, कैन यू गाइड मी ऐसे थ्रू ऐसे मैं अभी अपना कॉलेज प्रोजेक्ट ऐसे यूएक्स रीडिजाइन पे बना रहा था, मतलब एसबीआई योनो ऐप अगर आपको पता हो तो।
Yes.
इट्स वेरी ऐसे ट्रैश यूआई, इट हैज ऐसे मतलब बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है लेकिन यूआई इज वेरी ट्रैश। तो मुझे उसको रीडिजाइन करना था, तो मुझे ऐसे सबसे पहले यूजर सर्वेस ऐसे कंडक्ट करने का वो था, रिसर्च, यूजर रिसर्च। तो उसके लिए क्या करना होगा इफेक्टिव यूजर सर्विस डिजाइन करने के लिए?
So I'll tell you हर्ष, पहले हमारे को ये समझना होगा कि SBI की ऐप इज व्हाई इज इट नॉट वेरी एस्थेटिक?
यस एग्जैक्टली।
पहला तो क्वेश्चन ये है। द थिंग इज दैट द इंडियन मार्केट इज वेरी फंक्शनल ड्रिवन, right? They are very focused on functionality. The US market is focused on aesthetics and functionality, but India में you would see a lot of biscuits, chips, bottles, all kinds of products जिसमें aesthetics नहीं है, but they are extremely affordable. उनका distribution बहुत ज़्यादा है, मतलब वो हर दुकान पे हर जगह पे available है, and that is why it is working for them. So SBI is a banking app. They don't hire core developers. They outsource the development of their app. उस केस में because they are so busy with finances, they don't have that headspace of going too deep into design. Right? So SBI is extremely functional when it comes to dealing with money. But for them, making an aesthetic app is not at the top priority because their app gets the job done. So you have to figure out as to what do you need to fix, right? Like if it is not broken, then don't fix it. So why do you think all these new apps are designing aesthetically? Why are 5 delivery apps, 4 OTT platforms are designing so well? Because their underlying service is essentially the same. So the next level of differentiation is design. अगर आपका design अच्छा है, then you can say that oh we feel more premium, right? But SBI हो गया या जितनी भी ये Indian websites हो गई, इनके लिए functionality is core, then it's aesthetics. And if you're in a startup as well, like if any of you are in a startup, I would recommend that always focus on getting business, on getting revenue, and then focus on aesthetics, because this is not worth it. The Indian market will not pay you for aesthetics. No matter how pretty it is, they will never pay you for aesthetics, but they will always pay you for functionality. So yeah, coming back to your question, I would recommend you to pick a fictional problem statement and not an existing app. Like pick a fictional problem statement. That is a much better idea.
ओके, थैंक यू फॉर एवरीथिंग, ऐसे जो भी आप कर रहे हो इस टाइम, थैंक यू फॉर दैट।
Thank you.
Once can I ask you a question?
Hello, I am audible.
Yes.
या अंश, तो मुझे ऐसे पूछना था कि जैसे जो कभी कभी क्या होता है कि जो डिज़ाइनर होता है उसको कोड भी करना पड़ता है, तो मतलब ऐसा हो सकता है कि मतलब हम लोग उसको क्लाइंट को बता पाएँ कि नहीं ओनली डिज़ाइन का ऐसा कुछ?
नहीं, डिजाइनर्स को कोड नहीं करना होता है। जो क्लाइंट आपको कह रहे हैं कि आप कोड करो, वो क्लाइंट एक एक्सेप्शन है, वरना हर कंपनी में डिजाइनर अलग होता है एंड डेवलपर अलग होता है। डिजाइनर को डेवलप नहीं करना होता, वो क्लाइंट गलत है जो आपको कह रहे हैं कि आपको दोनों करना है।
यूआई पार्ट मतलब वो बोल रहा है कि कोड भी होता है और ऐसा कुछ?
हाँ, तो वो डेवलपर करेगा, डिजाइनर नहीं करेगा। वो डिजाइनर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है, उसको हायर करना पड़ेगा डेवलपर को, फ्रंट एंड डेवलपर को स्पेसिफिकली।
नहीं, जैसे अभी मैं क्या एक छोटे से स्टार्टअप में मतलब हूँ, तो स्टार्टअप वाले बोलते हैं कि कोड भी करो और डिजाइन भी करो, तो ऐसा क्या मतलब?
तो उनको बोलो मुझे डबल सैलरी दे दो, मैं दोनों कर लूँगा, मैं सीख लूँगा 1 महीने में। बोलो मुझे 1.5-2 लाख रुपए दे दो महीने का, मैं अभी सीख के आ जाऊँगा। इनफैक्ट तुम आगे आउटसोर्स कर देना फिर किसी स्टूडेंट को दे देना।
So Ansh, you say that generally in market people hire designers separately and front-end developers separately, and front-end developers do not design.
They do not design. 100% they are two different people. 110%. If a person is asking you to do both, that person is exploiting you.
All right, thanks, man.
Good. Yeah, big boy Abish.
Hello.
Don't worry, just focus on design.
या अंडरस्टैंड।
Hey Ansh, am I audible?
Yes.
तो अभी तुमने थोड़ी देर पहले बात कही थी कि हिंदी में जो कंटेंट है मतलब वो बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है बिकॉज इट इज़ सो डिफ़िकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड इन इंग्लिश, जैसे कि हम इंडिया से हैं।
हाँ।
तो अभी मैं तुमको मेरे महीने से पहले जानता था बिकॉज मेरी जो वीडियो है उसके सजेस्टेड वीडियो में तुम्हारी वीडियोस आ रही हैं। जो यूट्यूब है उस पर तुम मेरे कंपटीशन में हो, मेरे 13 के व्यूज़ हैं एंड आई थिंक तुम्हारी जो टॉप वीडियोस के 26 के व्यूज़ है ना।
मुझे हो सकता है, नॉट श्योर।
लाइक अब ये कितना बड़ा जा सकता है, क्योंकि अभी काफ़ी टाइम से जो हो रहा है डिज़ाइनिंग का बहुत ज़्यादा हाइप आ रही है। और जो
एक डिज़ाइन यूट्यूब चैनल कितना ज़्यादा बड़ा हो सकता है?
अकेला यूट्यूब चैनल नहीं, मतलब जो कंप्लीट ये फील्ड है ये कितनी बड़ी हो सकती है डिज़ाइनर्स की एज ए UI UX डिज़ाइनर।
हाँ, बड़ा ही होने वाला है, इसका कोई अंत थोड़ी ना है। कितनी सारी एप्स आने वाली है, AR VR आने वाला है, सब कुछ ही टेक पे रन कर रहा है। तो ये कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाला है, ये सिर्फ बढ़ेगा ही बढ़ेगा।
हाँ वो
एंड आएगा सब तो कोडिंग से भी बदल के जो है वो डिज़ाइनिंग पे जा रहे हैं लोग, जैसे कि अब तो एडिटर एक्स,
क्योंकि नो कोड एप्स आ गए ना अब इतनी
हाँ
सारी
बिल्कुल एडिटर एक्स जैसे आज अब कोडर से ज़्यादा जो है डिज़ाइनर्स को मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा रिस्पेक्ट मिलने लगी है। पहले जैसे कि कोडर से होते थे वो थोड़ा बहुत माइंड में सोच लेते थे कि भैया ये कोड करना है तो वो लगने लग जाते थे। अब ये वाला जो पर्टिकुलर काम है वो डिज़ाइनर्स को मिलने लगा है।
हाँ हाँ।
तो मतलब ये जो फील्ड है क्या कोडिंग को भी हटा सकते हैं? बिल्कुल ही
नहीं, कोडर्स की हमेशा जगह रहेगी। ये सब फालतू के थॉट्स है, तुम्हें मत गहराई में जाओ। देखो लेट कर लो, हटा भी दिया तो तुम्हारी जॉब इतनी जल्दी नहीं जाएगी। किसी चीज़ को इतना ज़्यादा आने में कि एक आदमी की जॉब हट जाए। सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स आई तो इतने सारे ड्राइवर्स हट गए, सेल्फ ड्राइविंग कार्स है अभी भी। लाइक अब ये मॉपर्स आ गए, फर्श साफ करने वाली मशीनें आ गई, तो क्या झाड़ू पोछे वाले लोग खत्म हो गए? तो ये इस चीज़ का मत टेंशन हो कि मेरी जॉब चली जाएगी, ये हट ही जाएगा। और अगर आदमी अपने काम में अच्छा है तो भुट्टा बेचने वाला, मोमोज बेचने वाला, ये सब भी लाखों रुपए कमा रहे हैं। आपको काम करना आना चाहिए, आप किसी भी फील्ड से कमा सकते हो।
ओके।
Ansh, I have a question really a bit personal and maybe so my question is that in life you have used many of the apps. So which is the best app you have used as per UI and UX, and any reason behind this?
बेस्ट तो नहीं बोल सकता एक्चुअली, बट आई कीप रेफरिंग अ लॉट ऑफ एप्स ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस। तो मेरे को तो लगता है कि एवरी ऐप हैज इट्स ओन पर्क्स। देयर इज नो बेस्ट ऐप एक्चुअली। यू कैन ऑलवेज चेक आउट सम पार्ट्स ऑफ एन ऐप। आप बोल सकते हो कि ये पार्ट अच्छा है इस ऐप का, तो वो आप बोल सकते हो, बट सेइंग ये बेस्ट ऐप है दुनिया की, दैट डजंट एग्जिस्ट।
Okay.
Any other questions? Also, if you folks actually learned something nice, please make sure that you post your review on Instagram and Twitter, because I did this out of I people. So the only way that you can help me is by putting the word out, because it's very difficult to become popular as a UX designer. अगर मैं reels पे dance कर रहा होता, I would have become popular very quickly. But because I teach design, the only way I will ever get popular is by you folks putting your review out there. So on Instagram, you can put your story on Instagram. Otherwise, on Ansh Mehra, 3 is at the end for Twitter. And yeah, you can ask your questions. I'm putting my Instagram in the chat, but yeah, ask your questions.
Can you please tell difference between graphic design and UI UX?
How did you land it to Zadal exactly?
They emailed me. They just emailed me seeing my work online. Actually, most of the work that I get is through word of mouth. I don't really have like a very extensive portfolio. And I recommend this to everyone. Your biggest publicity is word of mouth. So every time you meet someone, make sure you impress that person. Every time someone comes to your profile, they should only see the best of what you do. In fact, मैं तो पहले अपनी प्रोफाइल पे सारा काम हर 2-3 महीने में completely delete कर देता था, because you never know कौन आपका कौन सा काम देख ले, right? So word of mouth, like when people talk about you, they should say that, oh, that guy knows his deal. He's pretty strong.
Okay, thank you.
अंश ये यूएक्स डिजाइन और वेब डिजाइन दोनों अलग अलग चीज है, एक चीज है?
नहीं, आई थिंक मतलब टेक्निकली यूएक्स इज मच मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड. यूएक्स वेबसाइट का भी हो सकता है, बट अभी इंडियन मार्केट में यूजुअली यूएक्स इज स्टिक टू लाइक प्रोडक्ट्स, जैसे हम एप्स यूज करते हैं, एंड वेब डिजाइनिंग इज फॉर मार्केटिंग लैंडिंग पेजेस. तो जैसे मैं जडल में काम करता हूँ, जो मेरा जडल का प्रोडक्ट है दैट इज प्रोडक्ट डिजाइनिंग, एंड जो zadal.com है जो मेरी मार्केटिंग वेबसाइट है दैट इज लाइक वेब डिजाइन, मार्केटिंग लैंडिंग पेजेस. Of course, एक वेबसाइट का भी यूएक्स होता है, इट इज टेक्निकली यूएक्स डिजाइन ओनली. बट हाँ, या तो प्रोडक्ट्स बना सकते हो या आप लैंडिंग पेजेस, मार्केटिंग पेजेस बना सकते हो. Yeah, UX can extend to physical products. UX is not about digital apps. UX, before all these tech startups, UX was in physical products also. Can you explain motion design and interaction design? Oh, this is pretty complicated. But yeah, I'll actually tell you folks one very important tip, right? Like I'm going through the questions जो chat में आ रहे हैं, and this is a tip that I realized after a very long time, is that अगर आप किसी person से एक ऐसा question पूछ रहे हो जो YouTube या Google पे मिल रहा है, then you are wasting both of your time, अपना भी और जिससे आप पूछ रहे हो उससे भी. तो make sure जब आप किसी इंसान से कुछ question पूछ रहे हो, that question should be either very complex और ऐसा क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए जो YouTube और Google आपको नहीं बता पा रहा है. I practice this all the time because as you move ahead, for example, you are in a networking event, right? You are with the director of a very big company, right? And if you ask that person एक ऐसा क्वेश्चन जो Google पे या YouTube पे है, that person is going to be offended. I am not offended. You can ask me anything because I have time. बट दिस इज अ टिप दैट आई लर्नड, एंड उससे क्या हुआ, जब मुझे ये ब्रेन में मेरा ये स्विच ऑन हो गया ना, यार मेरे को इंटरनेट सब कुछ बता सकता है, तब से माई लाइफ हैज बीन वेरी ऑप्टिमाइज्ड. सो या, डोंट वेट फॉर अ मेंटर और एनी कोहॉर्ट. द इंटरनेट हैज एवरीथिंग दैट यू नीड. लर्न प्रोसेस बिफोर टूल और लर्न टूल बिफोर प्रोसेस. लर्न द टूल बिफोर द प्रोसेस. Learning the tool before the process is much more important. Hi Ansh, what are you currently working on? I'm working on Zadal Studio. I have designed a new product from scratch, which is basically for YouTube streaming and all kinds of events. It's like a video production platform. मैं 6-7 महीने से इस प्लेटफॉर्म को बना रहा हूँ. मैंने लिंक चैट में डाल दिया है. So yeah, by the end of this month, this product is going to be released. Like the first version of this product is going to be released to everyone. Yeah, any certain reason? Because the tool is a hardcore skill and the process is a never-ending subject. There is no end to learning the process. There's depths and depths of the process जिसका कोई अंत ही नहीं है. But Figma आप सीख जाओगे 2-2.5 महीने में. There is an end to learning Figma. There is no end to learning UX. Everyone is learning UX every day. Awesome. Chandan, like I think it's 9:04, so can we close it?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you so much, Ansh, for coming. And ladies and gentlemen, you've been a great audience. Ansh, really thank you for taking out the time and being here at Bluelearn.
Thank you so much, Chandan. And I really appreciate your voice, like your the way of speaking and the way you are using your tonality. It is very impressive.
Thanks for that. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Well, that's the session with Ansh Mehra. And this is Team Bluelearn. Thank you all for coming today. Well, see you in the next big session with another really, really interesting creator. Let's say, not just a creator, but someone whom we look up to. Well, that's it. Thank you so much, guys. See you in the next one. Bye.